Good morning, friends. Welcome to our next mindful moment. I forgot what I call it. Mindful momentum moment. Oh my gosh. Anyone else need more coffee this morning? If you're here, say hello. I would love to see you engage and connect with others, especially if you would like to celebrate what's going well this week. Wednesday is a day that I check in with our Mindful Momentum Box members in our group chat, which we host over in Telegram. We do a midweek check-in, and also with any of my private clients through pocket coaching. So it's midweek and I'm checking in with you. That's why I typically try to do these quick Facebook Lives as mindful momentum moments midweek, because this is when we can sometimes see the dip of momentum or motivation or energy, time, all those things. So it's a great time to check in with yourself. How is it going? All right. So if you're watching the replay later or you're watching now, anytime you do a check in with yourself is a good time. Anytime. You can do them every day, multiple times a day, beginning of the week, middle of the week, end of the week. It's good to be intentional and mindful about how we're supporting ourselves. That is my goal here, is that we are not running on autopilot all of the time, just reacting to everything going on around us, whether that's family life, business life, the greater world, and all the fire that is happening around us. We want to feel empowered and intentional about where we are allocating our time, what matters to us, and how we're moving forward. So this is your midweek check-in. How is it going? 3 simple questions you can ask yourself is, what's going well? Those are celebrations. Those are wins. Those are things to share with other people like us here in the comments. What's going well? Let's retrain our brain. I'm also drinking my coffee because my brain still isn't working in optimum status. It retrains our brain to recognize what is working, because some things are working well. Maybe not all the things, but there are some things. So take a moment to acknowledge those things. Did you wake up on time? Were you able to wash your hair today? Even if there's small things like that, it still is a good practice to acknowledge those things, because our brain will catastrophize what's going on. It will tell us nothing is going well, nothing at all, right? Black and white thinking is a common brain strategy of either it's all great or it's all bad, everything's going to shit. And we can retrain our brain to see that maybe some things aren't going the way we want them to, but some are. And that's a really valuable strategy to have. So tell me, what's going well? What are you celebrating? Maybe it's something big, maybe it's something small. Doesn't matter. Celebrate it. Second question is, what's not working? Okay, it's also really helpful from a problem-solving standpoint to identify that. We don't need to throw out the whole system or the whole plan. We can maybe identify what piece is not working. And then that will allow us to answer the third question, which is, what did I learn from that experience or from testing something? What did I learn, and what do I want to tweak or do differently? How am I going to change a little piece of this? And that can apply to something big, like a big project, or it could just apply to your weekly plan. That's what we do together in the Mindful Momentum Box, is identify what's most important this week, our top 3. And so on Wednesday, or sometime midweek, is a good time to check in with the top 3. And I'm going to be fully transparent here, friends, fully transparent, because I don't want you to think I have it all figured out and I do things perfectly, because I don't. So I love my Mindful Momentum pages. It's what comes in my box every month now, is custom design journal and planner. And I use it. I use it a lot. I've used different versions of it that I've created for myself in plain notebooks. So I use it a lot. I write in it a lot, and it really does help me. And sometimes I don't. So this is this week's date, 11/17. Today is 11/19. It's midweek. How are my top 3 going? Well, Rebekah, you didn't even write them down. Didn't even write them down. Fantastic, right? So my own midweek check-in is telling me it is a good time right now to identify what is most important. I wanted to do it at the beginning of the week. I even did weekly guided planning with my group on last Friday. And I didn't write down my top 3. And I still didn't write it on Monday or Tuesday. And today's Wednesday, and I'm going to do it today. So this is permission to do things messy, to do it imperfectly, to lean on the tool when you need it. I need the tool right now. I had a crappy week, okay? That's why a lot of this is blank. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay that it was crappy, but you get what I'm saying. Life is going to do that. Life is going to do that. And we don't have to wait for Monday. I don't have to wait for the next guided planning session. I don't have to wait for Monday morning or Sunday evening. Whenever you do your normal planning, if you plan at all, there's no perfect time. This is a tool, and I'm picking up my tool right after I log off here to use it to support me. Doesn't have to be done perfectly for it to be supportive. And so I'm sharing this openly, even though this is not connected to the main topic that I wanted to talk about today, because I believe in being transparent and showing you that we don't have to do things perfectly in order to still make progress. I can still create momentum and progress and results for myself this week. I don't have to wait for next week. I'm not throwing it all out and starting over on Monday. I'm checking in, resetting, regrouping, and moving forward. And so I invite you to do the same. If you're feeling like I am this week, where things went off the rails, as they say, or maybe it just, you didn't feel it. Like maybe nothing horrible happened, but it's just things weren't flowing the way they flow. Do the check-in. What's working? What's not working? What do I want to do differently? And what I've determined, just verbally reflecting, is that what I want to do differently is I'm going to sit down with my planner for a few minutes, reset, regroup, and identify what's most important as I finish my week. Okay? Tell me if you can relate. Tell me if you're in the same boat. Tell me if you have a celebration. Like, let me hear you speaking over there, people. It's hard sometimes when it's just very quiet. So, but what I wanted to also share, which I'll only spend a couple more minutes, I want to keep this brief, is about gratitude. That is what we're talking about in the Mindful Momentum box this month. It is our theme of the month. It coordinates with our monthly calendar card that I create for everyone. And the quote that inspired me this time was, "Gratitude turns what we have into enough." And so the way I'm connecting to that quote today and that intention, that is my intention. Not waiting till I have more to be grateful, but connecting with what I have already. Right now, it is enough. And I just hopped off a coaching call, my own, like where I was getting coached by my coach. And something that really stood out to me was being grateful for what I have right now. How do I say this? Gratitude for being in the version of myself today, as I am, imperfect and all, but being grateful for where I am today, because there was a past version of me that wanted what I have today. There was a version of me when I was an architect, working as not only an architect, but a project manager in my 20s, that worked a whole lot of hours and was tied to someone else's schedule, someone else's deadline, whether it be my boss or my clients. I would give up my evenings and my sleep for those people. And that version of me wanted time freedom, wanted to have autonomy over my day, my schedule, when I decided to do things or not do things. And I am sitting in that version of myself. I dreamed of this day. I worked in downtown Chicago on a very busy street full of lots of tourists and shoppers called the Mag Mile, Michigan Avenue. And literally, I could look out my window and see everyone walking with their shopping bags and their coffees. And I was extremely envious of, and I know some were on vacation, some didn't have a 9 to 5 job. There were all different circumstances, right? But all my brain would think about back then was how much I wanted freedom to go do those things. And I didn't feel I had autonomy or agency over those decisions in that point in my life. And I looked forward to a day where I worked from home or I was a parent and was focused on raising my kids, and that I had more control and say in what I did with my time. And I'm here. So today I'm sitting in gratitude. The month of gratitude, it's Thanksgiving coming up, it's November. It's the theme of my box this month. It's all around us. But a lot of times we think that gratitude comes when we get something like in the future, right? There's so many ways we can be grateful, I guess is my point. And one way that I feel is so powerful that helps me retrain my brain and can help you as well is reflecting on how you have created things for yourself that you are experiencing and enjoying today, that a past version of yourself 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when you were a child, whenever it was, you dreamed of this and you are now doing it. Your brain is very well trained and always focusing on what's next, what's more. I want this. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But also retraining our brain to also notice, become aware, and celebrate the things that you have created. You have achieved things that you once thought were impossible or out of reach or you only dreamed of. So, that is my invitation today. Practicing gratitude in a way that allows you to notice, celebrate, share that with someone, share it here, share it with a friend, a partner, a spouse, a loved one, whoever. Share it, celebrate it. It can be big or small, but let's celebrate ourselves. You are doing it. You are doing it. You have done it. You are enough. We can turn what we have into enough when we stop and reflect on it. And that was the motivation behind this quote, or picking the quote, drawing the artwork, designing a whole box around this theme, is because I do feel that when we have gratitude for those things that we have done for ourselves, it helps to build that momentum. It helps keep us going. It fuels us. It energizes us. It excites us. And it keeps us in a place of belief that we can do it again. We can create more. The more that we're desiring, we can do it because now we can celebrate where we've done it before. So sit in that success, celebrate, be grateful for the past version of you that didn't think it was possible and the current version of you that made it possible. And if you want to do more of this work with us, with a coach in your back pocket, with community of women who are doing the same work as you or a similar mission, similar focus, join us. mindfulmomentumbox.com is where you can find more details. The December boxes are going out in just a few days. So if you're interested, now is the time. And sneak peek or a teaser or whatever you want to call it, I do have a promotion coming up because Black Friday around the corner, right? And I believe in over delivering and surprise and delight and serving my community well. And so I will be offering a limited time offer next week for anyone who wants to join us in the Mindful Momentum Box. So stay tuned for that. And if you need anything else, just send me a message here on Facebook or an email at hello@RebekahLara.com. Connect to me through the website as well. And we'll be back here next week for another Mindful Momentum moment. All right. Take care.